Hi gorgeous! Welcome back to another historically accurate makeup tutorial. If this is the first video you've seen of its kind, I first would like to say welcome to you. I make videos like this combining history and makeup, so if you love those topics, you will love this series. Please subscribe and you'll always be notified of new videos like this in the future. And if you'd like to see past decades that I've done in this series, I'll have the full playlist linked for you down below. Today we're going medieval and visiting a time when makeup was not exactly shown off. It was more concealed in a very natural look. So this video is going to be rather short because there's not a lot to it, but there are a lot of really interesting facts I have to share with you from this time period. Medieval makeup was a catch-22. It was encouraged from the standpoint that a woman should look good for her husband to discourage him from committing adultery, but she didn't want to look too good because then she might attract the attention of other women's husbands. There were two qualities that were very important to medieval women during this time, and that was pale skin and clear skin. Pale skin meant you did not have to work outside, and clear skin meant you did not have a disease. They would also use medical reasoning as a excuse, if you will, for using cosmetics so that they appeared normal and healthy by societal standards. So knowing all of that information, let me show you how to recreate a historically accurate medieval face. First product I'm using for this medieval look is the Pores No More face primer, and this is from Dr. Brandt. And I'm applying this to not only disguise my pores, but to create a smooth surface for the makeup I'm going to be applying over the top. In medieval times, smooth skin was highly coveted. If you had freckles, moles, or birthmarks, they were considered the devil's mark, and they were associated with witchcraft, as well as having an affair with Satan, as silly as that sounds. But that's what they believed. They would have loved to have had modern-day products like we have today to smooth out the skin. The foundation that I'm using today is the Urban Decay All Nighter. The shade that I'm using is 0.5. This is not a color match for me. It's actually a little lighter than what it should be, which is why I chose to go with it. Pale skin was so popular in medieval times that bloodletting was a very common practice, and some women actually did it to themselves. Just as we've seen in past eras with the pale skin being the popular thing, in medieval times it was treated more as a way of lightening the skin instead of the extreme whitening that we've seen in other eras. The ingredients they used for lightening the skin was still toxic though, just as we saw with other eras, and it was lead-based and arsenic-based, and it did kill many husbands who were invited to kiss their wife's cheek. Eyebrows were tweezed into oblivion. They were basically non-existent. I'm not going to do that for this tutorial because I need my brows for other videos, but I am taking a little bit of foundation, using that to somewhat conceal them a little more. Then I set the face with a translucent powder. This is one from Sonia Kashuk, and used Max Fix Plus after that to blend the foundation and the powder together to further create that smooth skin surface that would have been desired in the medieval times. Now, eye makeup was available, but it wasn't fashionable to use it, so medieval women didn't, so we're not going to either. I know, bummer. But they did use rouge, and it was usually a red-based powder made from grounding plants like angelica or safflower or Brazil wood chips that were soaked in rose water. But I'm using something a little more modern. This is Makeup Geek's Covet blush. It is a red-based blush, very pigmented, so I'm taking a little bit and then really blending it into the skin. For my lips, I'm using one of the Revlon Ultimate Suede lipsticks in the shade Fashionista. Lip stains were often made from crushed berries, but rouge also doubled as a suitable lip stain. You can make any lipstick look like a stain by simply using a concealer brush to apply it and press it into the lips, or really blot it with a tissue. So you're taking away a lot of the pigment, but what's left behind looks like a stain on the lips. One of the other medieval trends was to take a lemon and rub it on the lips after applying the stain to get a deeper color. I said, why not? Let me try it for this video. Obviously, it didn't work, and I fully believe the reason it didn't work was because I wasn't using a berry stain or any of the plants that they would have used. But if I had, then the lemon probably would have worked to intensify the lip color. The medieval church considered it sinful for women to show their hair. Those who did not cover their hair were very young, unmarried girls,
peasants or prostitutes. So hair was covered generally with veils, hats, and nets. So I found this veil and wimple set off of Etsy, and if you're interested in it, I'll have it linked for you below. The seller actually hand-stitched this to keep with the authenticity of it. Now the wimple is the first part that you see me putting over my head to conceal the hair, and the veil goes over the top of that, and then you pin it to the sides of the wimple.
Let me know where you would like our time machine to travel to next, and your most requested decade will be the next video in the Historically Accurate series. Please subscribe so you'll always be notified of new videos like this in the future, and if you'd like to see more history and makeup tutorials, I will have all of those past videos linked for you down below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you again in another trip through time.